Hello and welcome to a brand new commentary. I and Codge will be discussing my brand new upgrade into my computer. I have just finished upgrading my computer. I've literally just finished setting it all up and changing all the settings, getting it perfect.
Lies!
Well, I finished a couple of hours ago, but I did change a few settings in the BIOS just a few minutes ago.
And took an hour doing so.
Fuck you. Right, anyway. So, as you can see in the video, I am now pulling out the some of the wires. Obviously, for an upgrade yourself as a tutorial, if you are planning on upgrading your computer like I have done myself, and following this video, you will have to do the same. To start off with, you're literally going to have to pull out all of the wires out of the back.
Make sure you don't electrocute yourself.
Yeah, make sure you turn it off.
Did you actually wear static gloves?
No.
Like...
Why the fuck would I... Jesus, Codge. Right. Start off, pull the plug out, yeah? Just pull it out. There's no point in having the power in, just pull it out, okay? So what I've done here is I've replaced my CPU, my PSU, and my motherboard. Unfortunately, as an upgrade to my computer, I had to upgrade my motherboard, meaning it costs more money. This build cost £430. Yes, it's a massive chunk out of my money, innit, Codge?
Yeah, you could start explaining what the hell you actually brought, you know.
Yeah, I'll do that as I start putting it in. But at the moment, I'm just pulling shit out, and I cut it out of the video as I pulled off the case. It was like a dust cloud. It was just like dispersed. It was like
entering the fucking atmosphere, just floating
Yeah.
above your head. Start pouring thunder and rain.
They were like, yeah, exactly. There were warning alarms going off from the government saying that there's a big dust cloud coming out of the room. Yeah, so anyway.
Watch out, smog.
A reinfected Preston with new smog. So yeah, as you can see here, I'm pulling out the PSU. You're going to have to unscrew it at the back. Depending on where you've got your PSU, but I'm assuming it's screwed in at the back.
So it's screwed at the back.
Yeah, they're always screwed in. It depends though, because
back.
some computers are fucking weird. Like HP, them small ones.
That new Razer PC, it's like a cube box. It's old hell.
They're tiny, aren't they? So as you see on the video, I've just pulled out my brand new motherboard. It is a Gigabyte GAZ97-HD3. It looks very good, as it's golden.
It was a brand?
Gigabyte, that's the brand. On scan it is £79.16, including VAT, and its rating is high end. Obviously with this motherboard it's socket 1150, which fits my processor, which you can see on the video now. That is an Intel Core i7-4790K, otherwise known as the Devil's Canyon.
I don't get it.
It's the Devil's Canyon, Codge.
I know, I don't get it.
It's beast as fuck. On the video, take note here where you see me hold up the processor. You can see I slowed the video down slightly. You can see if you're installing the processor, you need to watch out for which way you install the processor. It won't let you put it in if you do it the wrong way. Take note of where the dents in are at the sides of the processor.
No, they're usually done by marks.
What?
They're usually done by marks.
Yeah, it's marked on the processor or your motherboard, depending on which one you buy. But also, is definitely make sure that it's fitting properly, as well as the CPU fan. Make sure the wires are not, in the way of the fan, and make sure they are plugged into the right socket. As later on in the video, I realised I didn't plug them into the right one, as I couldn't find CPU fan as opposed to system fan. It was like fucking hell. So I plugged it into the right one anyway. Next is your RAM. Obviously, with that, it's a bit complicated. But if you've not got all the same, what do you say, Codge?
It's a goat.
If you don't install the RAM properly, it might not work properly. The first and third socket are where the two matching RAM sticks go, and the second and fourth socket. So if you don't arrange it right, make sure you Google it if you don't understand what I mean. If you don't have the same brand of RAM in the right sockets, if that makes sense,
It won't work.
It won't work. Yeah.
PCSU next? No, PSU.
You're not far off, actually. It was I've just put the motherboard inside the case. As you can see, I replaced the metal frame of where you plug in the parts. You know, anything that you plug into the back. I replaced the metal frame that you get with the motherboard. Obviously, you need to do that yourselves. You pull out the old frame and you put in your new one. And then I started putting in my graphics card and realised that I needed to properly put my motherboard in before I started doing that. Pulled it back out again. Smart.
Did you make the same mistake as me when I plugged in my PSU? Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, I plugged in the wrong way round. I had to rotate it 90 degrees.
Did you put the fan in the facing upwards?
Everything was correct, but I put the thing in 90 degrees the wrong way. It was actually
How the fuck did you put it in 90 degrees the wrong way?
The actual thing was basically a square, so I literally had 4 different chances to try and put it the right way.
Oh my god! I thought they were they're normally rectangles, rectangular shaped, and you have to turn it at 180 degrees. Like the fan on mine is facing downwards, but most of them are facing upwards if they're at the top of the. As you can see on the video later on, I actually pull out the. There's a section underneath where I can slide out the like a bit of a dust protector or some shit like that underneath the computer itself, underneath the case, and like that's where the fan is for the PSU.
There's dust protectors.
On my case, yeah, it's a bit weird. It's a bit randomly set up. As you can see on the video there, I just showed you the layout sort of where you plug in the case, basically the peripherals at the front. For example, the USBs and the headphone sockets and stuff like that. You can see the layout of how you're supposed to plug them in. And on the wires, you can see themselves, like where it says USB and power and power LED and hard drive LED, etc. Make sure you plug them in the right ones. It won't do too much damage if you don't. It just won't come on. But just make sure they're plugged into the right ones.
Computers can become very complicated if you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Very complicated. Next, you can see the SATA plugs. I'm plugging them in now for my hard drives. Obviously, I have an SSD. Oh, beautiful.
Cheeky bastard.
Honestly, it is one of the best upgrades I have ever done. Coach, have you got an SSD?
Yes.
You have. What do you
120
reckon?
gig. 15-second startup times. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, exactly. 15 seconds. It's like instant on. And with this new motherboard, it's like ding. It's like whoa. How am I supposed to change boot settings if you can't let me get on the boot screen?
No, my boot one stays on for like 5 seconds just to make sure.
Yeah.
I don't want to make any choices.
You should go into your settings, Codge, because they're on these new boards. You can change it to ultra fast.
I haven't got a new board.
Well,
I need to buy a new board.
Relatively new. It's like 3 years old.
Yeah, it's 3 years old actually. I think.
Oh my god, what a guess!
Probably 2 years old. I'm not sure.
Well, it was a good guess.
Shut up about your fucking guesses.
So next, obviously,
can you guess lottery numbers for me?
I can
lucky.
guess them, but I didn't, I'm not saying I'll get them right. Next is the PSU. You see on the video, I actually turned it around. I did install it. It started installing it the wrong way. I was like, maybe I shouldn't put the fan facing into the computer. Maybe I should face it out. Screwing it in now. Make sure it's screwed in properly. Obviously, anything in the motherboard and this PSU, make sure they're screwed in properly. Especially your CPU fan. If that's not in properly, your CPU may just blow up.
Sometimes, actually, the new models nowadays, I think they just overheat and stop.
They do.
Just literally just stop dead until you sort them out.
The motherboard just turns itself off and everything. It just does a very loud beep.
It's like, no, I'm not in Spain. Leave me alone.
No, exactly. It's just like beep 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 beep. Wait, let's scratch that bit at the end. Before I forget, you motherboard. You can see on the video. At some point, I change around where the bracket screws at the back are screwed in. Make sure, obviously, your motherboard is properly screwed in. Otherwise, you may start to hear some rattling from your computer if that's not screwed in. Like it normally is 6 screws, 6 bracket screws, and then 6 actual screws to screw in the motherboard. Screws. What?
You're explaining to me like it's a washing machine.
Well, it is.
Oh,
it pretty much is a washing machine, mate.
As it go, ooh,
yeah, exactly. If you don't plug
clean
it in,
your clothes.
If you don't screw it in properly, mate, that's exactly what the sound will be. It'd be like, woo, woo. No.
Oh, if I unscrew a washing machine, I'll get more screws out of it, then I'll put it back in.
Wow.
It's the same for every washing machine. It's like magic.
Codge, why don't you put your computer in your washing machine?
Good idea. Clean clothes.
It's ingenious.
Mate, it's like it's water cooled, liquid cooled.
I don't think it works like that. But anyway, on a video now, I am attaching the parts for the front and side panels and stuff. If your case doesn't have lit up bits, it may not happen like this. However, mine does. It has a front LED, like temperature monitor and stuff like that, and a side fan and stuff. So obviously with these, they're a bit complicated sometimes because they're not very complicated, but they're just a bit of a pain in the ass. The wires are really they're easy to break. And I actually broke one on the video right now. I am showing on the video right now. I actually just show like I've actually broke one of the wires, but I managed to fix it because I'm not sick.
You broke one of the thermal wires.
Not thermal wires, no. One of the fan wires. You know, the tiny short wires that are attached to them little white socket things that you're attached to your main PSU. To your main PSU power supply thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, one of the wires came out and the actual metal part for it came out as well. So I put them back in. Make sure when you're putting them together that they're all actually fully in properly. If any of that metal contacts any other metal inside your computer, it might just cause a fire or something like that.
No short circuit.
Be careful with that. Yeah. But I mean, if it is in contact with another wire, it might just overheat and start a fire. I've seen it before. It's not very good.
This actually reminds me of when I actually blew up my power supply. I literally plugged another kettle plug in it. I plugged another kettle plug in to see if it would work, and it blew the kettle plug up. I was like, what?
Oh my god.
The whole house electricity just turned off.
Yeah. I do remember a time when I learnt my lesson for messing around with the sound system. It was quite ironic because my granddad decided to give me a sound system and it wasn't working properly, so I decided to unscrew the bastard because YOLO, why not? Because it wasn't working, so I thought, fuck it, I'll just unscrew it and see what happens. I managed to figure out the problem, I fixed the problem, was testing it, plugged my iPhone into the aux cable, the 3.5 millimeter. Yeah, I told you about this story, Codge, but basically I turned it on to test it, and I was screwing it back in, stupidly enough, not turning the fucking system off, but me assuming I know where everything is that is electric, so just don't touch any of them bits. So I was screwing it back in. The screw wasn't going in properly. The screwdriver was magnetic, so I pulled the screwdriver out, dropped the screw onto the circuit board. It was like, oh my fucking god. Whole house electricity went off. Sound system and everything obviously went off. iPhone, touched it, boiling hot, it had fried it. I was like, what the fuck?
It would be a good timing if something said, boom, 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 I want you in my...
If that song was playing, I would have kicked off. But honestly, after it, I've turned the power back on and everything. I was like, what the fuck's up with my phone? Like, trying it for ages. Turns out the sound system was fucking fine though, wasn't it?
I was like, fuck you, phone.
Yeah. Fried my phone, but the sound system was fine. It's like 400 quid iPhone, 500 quid on the day, and a sound system that was like 120 quid or something. Fried it. It's like, oh my god. So on the video right now, I am cable tying my cables, obviously. Jesus fuck.
Naughty.
Yeah. So if you I think there's probably tutorials out there on YouTube on how to do this. I'm not the best, but Cable tying inside your computer is very efficient for a start off. It'll help your computer run properly, because if there's like any parts that start touching any fan blades or anything like that, it starts to rattle, obviously break and things like that. It's obviously not very good. So yeah, I mean, I recommend doing that. It looks neater and looks tidier as well inside.
I've actually got cable ties for my sound system.
Oh, nice. Have you
See-
cable tied the inside of yours, Codge?
No, not the inside of the sound system. I
Oh,
didn't
you-
touch the inside of the sound
Your
system.
computer's shitbag.
Yeah, obviously I've done that. I cable tie everything, like
Nice.
cable tie there, got cable tie there.
Well, people can't see that, Codge. So anyway, as you see on the
Visit in
video,
your mind.
as you see on the video just a second ago, I rotated my CPU fan. That was where I just I realised that it wasn't in the right socket thing
Muppet.
plugged in. And also, well, no, it wasn't actually. That was the first time I started rotating it, because the fan blade wires were actually touching. It was just like, oh shit, I shouldn't leave it like that. And later on in the video, I realised the reason why my computer CPU fan wasn't turning on was because it was plugged into the wrong thingy, as I mentioned before. And I rotated it again to make sure it was in the right. And obviously make sure you do that. And if you turn your computer on and your CPU fan doesn't come on, turn your computer off, because your CPU will overheat.
Naughty.
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
Was it a brand new CPU?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you gonna add thermal paste to it or not?
No, it comes on the heatsink.
I know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if it was already used, you have to get thermal paste.
But
I don't really understand the actual physical condition of thermal paste. I mean, what the hell? How does it work?
it's like a solid when it's not at a high temperature. So it's literally just like a paste. So obviously it's pasted on. It's hard when you touch it, but then when it gets heated up through the CPU, it just transfers the heat to the heatsink and this CPU fan. It doesn't do much. It just transfers the heat. That's it, really. And that was mostly the reason why Xbox 360s used to red ring so much, was because the thermal paste has either not working properly, or it started spreading out too much, so that it wasn't transferring the heat properly to the heatsink. That was one of the reasons why the Xbox 360 used to red ring so much.
Naughty Mark. This supposed to be a computer company. How the hell did they get that wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
Ask their Chinese workers to put more thermal paste on it. There you go.
So on the video now, I've literally just finished assembling my whole computer components. I am plugging in the side fan now of the side of my computer.
How many fans do you have?
How many fans? I have one. You've got no fans! Wait, no. 1, 2...
You bastard. I was going to say that, you little bastard.
3. I think there's one at the front as well. 3. And obviously there's the PSU fan and the CPU fan. They don't really count, to be honest. Yeah, but it runs... At the moment, whilst recording and playing back a video and Skype video and other shit, it's at 31 degrees Celsius. Not that much, to be fair.
To thank my fans for keeping the shit cool.
So normally it would be running at about 24. That's it, really, to be honest. But I did have a different CPU, different heatsink, and heatsink fan. Maybe that's playing a part in.
Why didn't you just get a water cooler? Water cooled.
Because my motherboard don't think it supports it, and also I don't really feel the need, because I'm not.
Because your computer won't sound like a bloody jet every 5 minutes if it's got a little water cooler on it.
Piss off! It just make me want to piss all the time. No, I don't know. It's.
You can have like a little. It's like woo.
Just bubbles constantly in my room.
Yeah, you have the little fine fish. Bubbles! Give me bubbles!
Oh, fuck. So on the video right now, I am just turning on my computer. It's going through a boot loop thing, and that's because I've not gone onto the BIOS yet. I was literally just tidying up. And that's pretty much it. If any of you guys have any questions, I've not covered absolutely everything in this video. If you do actually need a full-blown tutorial on how to do this, I will make like sort of make one or podcast guide, kind of, I don't know. I'd do something to help you guys, and girls, obviously. Girls can build computers too. God,
Sexist prick.
yeah. Also, I'm there for most computer-related questions. You know, if you need any help. That's it, really.
How do I internet?
How to internet, yeah.
That's what they did in Payday. They had a little phone call thing at the bank. They had to keep answering, and the guy went, "I want to check my account. How do I internet?" It's like, what? It's probably taking a piss at everyone. It's like, what? Is that my dad?
So anyway, thank you very much for watching / listening / being bored. I don't know. If this video had any relevance to you whatsoever, or it may help you in the future, please give us a like, comment, and subscribe if you do need any help with computer-related stuff, anything. And check out the rest of our channel. Kodge?
If you're still with us, please give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Good success.
Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.